Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a new Jump Force video. Today we'll be doing the Todoroki guide, and if you are new here and don't really know how the guides work, in the comment section will be a timestamp of various things you will learn. Just kind of follow the process and you'll hopefully understand what's happening. For his first ability, Ice Stalagmite, it connects with the first, second, third, and fourth light, the first, second, and third heavy, the first down tilt, a fully charged down tilt if you jump in heavy after, and for the up tilt, it does connect sometimes if you just fully charge up tilt, jump, and try and use the ability, but I recommend jumping, heavying down, and using the ability. Just a little tip on the second heavy for his first ability, you do need to delay the ability for it to land. If I just try and press it how you would normally press an ability, it's going to miss, as you can see right there. So just wait a little bit and use it. Timing is going to be a little weird at first, but it's pretty easy to get down. For his second ability, Dancing Flame, it connects with the second, third, and fourth light, the second and third heavy, the first part of the down tilt, a charged down tilt if you jump and use it, and a charged up tilt as well if you jump and use it. Now you can technically charge this ability, however, when it gives you that little cutscene, it's just a for sure more damage indicator, so when it does that cutscene on the fourth light as well as the third heavy, you will get more damage that way, representing basically a fully charged Dancing Flame, as well as you can fully charge it in the air with the charged up tilt. For his third ability, Heaven Piercing Ice Wall, it connects with the second, third, and fourth light, the second and third heavy, the first part of the down tilt, and a charged up tilt. For his ultimate Flash Freeze Heat Wave, the only thing it does not connect with is the third down tilt as well as the third up tilt. Everything else should be fair game. Be careful on charged down tilts and up tilts. If you do it too early, you will jump after them, so just make sure you get the timing on that down. Some things to know about his first ability is that you can follow it up with one light to just go with the combo and keep going on, or you can actually connect a Dancing Flame with it and it will do a fully charged cinematic screen and it will give you some pretty nice damage. This ability does provide a lot of reset potential, which we'll get into later and what we can actually do with it, but for now we're just going to leave it at that. As well as you can actually connect your ultimate with this ability. It may not look like it, he may look like he can actually recover in time, but he cannot. First, Dancing Flame is really not much to tell besides, like I said earlier, that you can charge it, it will do more damage, and you'll know it's charged when this little cutscene happens here. You get the cutscene, like I said, on the fourth light and the third heavy, as well as doing it on your first ability. So, it's pretty much the theme is anytime you get them with ice, you'll get the charged Dancing Flame. Now, following that little theme about getting hit with the ice and getting a fully charged Dancing Flame, apparently if you hit them with ice and do the fully charged, you can also land your ultimate. This goes with any of your ice attacks. So again, we just did the first bar, we can do it on the fourth light here. Fully charged Dancing Flame, and ultimate will connect. Now, I will try and show you in a sec here. I've actually been able to avoid this ultimate being the opponent by just holding guard and rolling to the other side. I will try that in a second here, but as you can see, without the ice, if I tried to ult with just a regular charged Dancing Flame, this will not connect. As you see, the damage already reset and it's not going to land. Alright guys, so here I am in just regular P1 versus P2. I'm going to try and ult here. Doing the same thing. Now I'm going to switch controllers here and hold guard as I'm going to try and avoid and roll out of it. See, I did exactly that, and I'm over here safe as Goku. So it's not a confirmed ultimate landing if you hold guard, and I was just holding left right there, but I'm sure you could hold left or right. I've done it a couple times in online, but no one's obviously tried to keep doing it because they weren't landing it on me. If you want to go for it and risk it, you definitely can, but no, it is not a confirmed ultimate. Some basic things to know about his third ability is, of course, you can land Dancing Flame right after, kind of following the theme with the fire and ice thing. As well, you can jump, so just use your jump button and come down with a heavy, and then you could also follow with heavies, or you may just jump into some lights, as well as in those lights, you can just do a Dancing Flame, fully charge it if you want, and if you just wanted to be really fancy, you can jump and hold your light. Now, some things to note: if you are not close enough to the opponent when landing this ability, because it does have a pretty large AoE, if you are not close enough, you will not be able to land Dancing Flame as well as jump to your opponent. So you got a pretty big jump range. If I used it here, I believe I could still jump at him. Yeah, see, I mean, you're jumping pretty far, but at a certain distance, you will not be able to jump. However, he still has a way of getting to his opponent. If you just dash and light, you can follow up your combo, which I just think is amazing as well as just stupid. So to be honest, if you don't know if you are close enough to jump or not, just dash, because either way, if you are close enough to, even if you're this close and you don't want to just do it, you can still dash and follow up with the combo. Whereas normally sometimes in those type of abilities it would make you dash like that. This one is not one of those cases. Of course, you can also land your ultimate right after this. Just be careful you don't jump, you just have to time it. You got loads of time to grab this, it's not that big of a deal. As well as if you have the extra bar, of course, use Dancing Flame. Beautiful damage here, and ult. And this will connect, giving you some major damage, especially if you are awakened. Some things to know about his ultimate is that it can actually be cancelled by a Some things to know about his ultimate is that it can actually be cancelled by assists and some abilities. A good example of this is Red Hawk or Ahsoka cards. If we were both over here and I decided to ult and Luffy is called out, I will be teleported to the middle of the map. However, Luffy will not be able to get hit by this if he is in the perfect position and could just smack me with Red Hawk and just cancel the ultimate. Another thing to know is that his ultimate is very linear, although you might be able to land it right here if you just smack them into the air in general. Because they are going straight, this will hit and they will land in it. But you gotta be careful when you are against a wall. Let's just say it's happened to me a bunch. You're against the wall and you use this and you wait a bit and you ult, thinking you're gonna hit them. It should land, and theoretically, but they're gonna move to the left and right because they're gliding on the wall. The way to avoid this is pretty difficult, but you just basically gotta time and move your character to basically match kind of where they are. So I kind of tried to match it. They still might miss, and it's very difficult. I'm not gonna spend the whole time trying to figure this out, but it does land and we do get it. Basically just practice or just don't ult when they're in the air against a wall. For Todoroki's grab string, you can grab off the second, third, and fourth light. It's pretty good, it's pretty average speed, and his grab is pretty dangerous because he does have a grab ult, which I'll show in a second. The grab I like to grab on most is right before the fourth light here, just because it has kind of the same effect. As you can see, ice is thrown on the fourth light, as well as kind of ice is thrown with the grab, and it kind of makes me feel like, you know, they're going for the fourth light instead of the grab. Of course, there's a very big animation difference, but most of the time, grabs are impossible to react to, so you have to guess in either tech it or just backstep or sidestep. Now for stage transitions, it's very weird. You can only do it off the third light. However, you can still land the fully charged heavy on the second and fourth light. It just does not give you the animation, and we've seen a bunch of these with other characters. It's just kind of sad to see Todoroki only has one technical stage transition. Of course, if you do this and you land kind of that hit right there, you can of course go into a fully charged heavy. So anytime, I don't know, you're vanishing and you hit them, but they have to be standing, you can land like that. So just be aware of that. However, for the most part, just do it on the third heavy if you are trying, or sorry, third light if you are trying to stage transition. Alright guys, that was a lot of basic stuff. That was like, I think 10 minutes worth of stuff, but it's very important because Todoroki is actually very easy to play and that just comes with kind of how basic he is. But now we're going to get to some of the advanced stuff. Okay guys, starting off with the Vanish Combo. Now remember, the Vanish Combo is when you do a light combo, vanish, and continue that same light combo without dropping it. Now Todoroki can do this after a second light, as well as the fourth light. A reminder that you do need to vanish close to them. If I vanished away, that third light would not connect, as shown here. So just be careful and make sure to follow them when you are trying to do a combo like this. Now, of course, if you really wanted to, you can do 3 lights, vanish, wait a sec, and just do 3 lights again. Now, this is really just to annoy your opponent and bait out their stamina gauge. However, it's not really optimal, but you can do it if you so please to. Okay, now actually using the Vanish Combo to our advantage here, this is what I'd recommend doing, is 3 lights, vanishing, and then doing the ice. Now you might notice it does drop, but that's actually what we want. If your opponent has stamina and we're trying to get rid of it, this is the route you want to go, in my opinion. Of course, there might be better ones or other ones we haven't figured out, but right now this is the one I'd most recommend. So after doing 3 lights, vanish, ice, half charge down tilt into a fully charged up tilt, and if it hits, you can do whatever you want to do after the up tilt. You can fully charge Dancing Flame into an assist, and the assist will hit if you time it right, and you can follow it up with something. Of course, you can just jump, come down with heavies, and then maybe use your first ability to go into another type of reset, but it's up to you. But what if your opponent is holding guard? This is what it's going to look like. So again, 3 lights, vanish, 4th light. This is what it's going to look like. They're going to get up just like that. And for some weird reason, I'm going to go over this real fast. Anytime you do a half charge down tilt into a fully charged up tilt, for most characters, the game gives the opponent a chance to guard again just for the hell of it. Todoroki does not apply in this case for some reason, and I don't know why. I'm sure there's other characters that also don't have this rule, but you can just go ahead and keep hitting the opponent, so it works out in our favor. But this is what we want to do if we're going for more mix-ups. So this is if they hold guard, we're going to hopefully get the fully charged up tilt. Now, if you're playing a more experienced player, they might be able to vanish this fully charged up tilt / high speed counter, or just sidestep sometimes. If you're worried about that, all you really need to do is just go with the half charge down tilt, and you'll be safe. So just half charge, and then, I don't know, you're safe. I didn't block right away, but you're safe, and maybe plus on certain characters, and feel free to just kind of follow up and do something with whatever you want to do. Of course, you could also just go through with the down tilt, and if you really are scared about being safe, call in your assist a lot better than I did, so like right here, and depending on your assist, you know, you'll be safe, and then you can go into the mixes I'm about to teach you later on. Now, if your opponent is not holding guard and is still pressing buttons, this is what it's going to look like if you do this Vanish Combo. They're going to get up right away, and of course, depending on what you want to do, you can follow up with whatever. So what I like to do, since I have pretty nice reaction time, if I see this down tilt going to hit, I'm just going to follow up with heavies right after that first down tilt. Now, if you don't trust yourself to reaction time, again, you can just follow up with 3 down tilts, or you can follow up with what we were doing before. Half charge down tilt into an up tilt, and if it hits them, you can follow up with whatever you want to do. Of course, the safer option is to just do this half charge down tilt into the up tilt, because regardless if you hit them, you're gonna get damage going, so might as well just stick with that. Alright guys, for his heavies in the Vanish Combo, he really only has 1. After the second heavy, you can vanish and do the 3rd light. Not really much you can do with this. If you wanted to start a whole new combo, you can vanish after the second heavy and just go into a light string and get some damage down if you wanted some like more damage that way. You can also try and go for like some fun little resets here. If you wanted to vanish after this and then just kind of lights and hoping that he tries a sidestep or something, you can definitely do that. But not really much you can do with this. I honestly just do it as a way to keep yourself safe if they try and escape, and then just follow up with whatever bars you have into a combo. The best thing I can tell you, we're going back to this, is that you can vanish after the third heavy and half charge your light into try and making them sidestep, or basically making them flinch, and then you can try and go into a full combo, or you can just fully charge light and hit them in the air, right? That's also something you can do, but most people are going to be holding guard or reacting to something, so that's just something you can do. Okay guys, getting into the Vanish Strings. Now remember, Vanish Strings are where you can do lights or heavies and then vanish and then continue the combo after vanishing and then dashing after them to hit them. Now as far as light string, he doesn't really have much. He only has the 4th light that actually connects. However, it does drop, but don't worry, this lets us get some mix-ups options. The first one you could probably do is Vanish, fully charged light, and then, you know, if you wanted to switch and then do this, and then jump, and I don't know, do whatever you wanted to do after that, you definitely could, but that requires an assist. If you don't have an assist or don't want to try anything fancy like that, you can definitely just hold light and then go into the air for an air battle. You can also do a fully charged up tilt if you really wanted to. Again, Vanish back, fully charged up tilt, then go into whatever you want. And of course you can do what I taught you earlier with the half charge down tilt, where you dash, half charge down tilt, maybe bait them into sidestepping, then going with kind of maybe a half charged up tilt, and then going into a full like combo. Okay guys, remember that was all if your opponent was not pressing any buttons slash guarding. If they are guarding, this is what it's going to look like, and you have a couple options here. They're going to get up right in front of your face, in which you can either fully charge up tilt, do the half charge down tilt, into fully charged up tilt, do whatever I have taught you in the previous segments here. It's all going to work. Now, I like to go for big damage, so I'm definitely going to go for the mix-ups. If you want the safer option, this is what I tell you to do. It's just dash and then grab. They get up right in front of you, you can grab. Of course, you can go into a grab ult and maybe have them waste their meter to escape. You can chase them, but it doesn't really matter. It is up to you. Alright guys, now if you see the pattern here, if he's not guarding but he's pressing buttons, this is what it's going to look like. They get up right in front of your face, and it's pretty much the same as what I've taught you before. They're just going to get up right in front of your face, so just do the down half charge down tilt, and then you can maybe continue a combo into whatever you want, right? So that's basically what it's going to look like for his light strings with the Vanish Strings. Okay guys, still talking about the Vanish Strings, we're just going to go to his Heavies. He can only do it after the second Heavy, and it's literally the same situation if you want to do fully charged Heavy, or you could fully charge light. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be the same type of mix-ups that I taught you before, so I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to briefly go over them. Fully charged up tilt, same thing. And of course, when he's guarding, this is what it's going to look like. If you want to do 2 Heavies, Vanish dash, get up, you can grab, or you can do any of the mix-ups before. And of course, if they are hitting buttons but not pressing guard, same thing. Alright guys, time for the mix-ups, and it's honestly the hardest part about Todoroki because I honestly cannot find some nice, clean mix-ups. The only thing that I'd really recommend, and I'm going to go over a few things, but honestly, the best thing you could possibly do is just do half charge down tilts and hope they sidestep or backstep, and letting it loose and catching them. And if you catch them, you can just continue the down tilt or try and go into a light string because you can follow it up after. Of course, if they block it, then I'd recommend just, you know, continuing going through with the down tilt. And if you don't feel safe, go ahead and just call an assist. I'd recommend only doing 2 down tilts because the 3rd down tilt feels a little unsafe. I've definitely been plus on some people before, but it looks like Goku here could easily just rock me if I did 3 down tilts. But if you want to be fancy, this is the stuff I like to do. If your opponent likes to grab and try and grab tech while you're in the middle of a combo, this is something I love to do. I love to delay the 4th light, and it actually gives the opponent time to grab, and you'll be able to stop them with this ice, in which you can continue your combo from there. It is very risky though. If they backstep or sidestep, this will miss, and you will usually be punished for it. But if you're worried about that, you can definitely just try and down tilt and catch up to them, or your up tilt is definitely the better bet if you're trying to catch up to someone. It goes pretty far compared to the down tilt. Up tilt kind of tracks a little better, not tracks better, but just goes a little further in distance. Another really basic mix-up you can do is just literally using Heavy Pierce and Ice Wall on them, and that's just to catch them on the back step. Sometimes it catches them on the side step, and they might call an assist to try and keep him safe, in which both the assist and him get caught, which is huge damage. Now, they can sidestep with this ability, but most of the time I seem to catch people that sidestep it. If they sidestep it at the wrong time, if they do it too late, they will get caught by it. But yes, if they do sidestep or block it or grab, you will be in danger. If they grab right here, they can grab and cancel this. If they block, I'm unsafe, so I have to call an assist to protect me. And if they sidestep, of course, and completely dodging the ability, they can do whatever they want. Another one I like to do, but is pretty dangerous and not really rewarding, is Vanish after the 3rd light here, and then continuing with the 4th light. Most of the time, if they sidestep, it will catch them, depending on where you vanish. If they backstep, it will not catch them, but like I said earlier, try and down tilt or up tilt to catch up to them. If they just stand there and take it, you know, you're relatively safe, in which you could probably do some down tilts or up tilts, but that's something I like to do. You can also always just go for the standard vanish back and dash. Todoroki does not have a dash grab, which is unfortunate, but also nice because he's pretty nice damage. So as you can see, if I vanish, dash, and grab right away, it's just not going to work. So to get around that, of course, vanish, dash, move a little, and then grab. It's still pretty fast, but most of the time people are going to just be sidestepping that right there, so you might not hit them. And of course, you can always go one light, vanish, try and grab. Works very rarely, but you never know. Same with the one heavy, a vanish, grab. I mean, you can technically do this off any vanish. But again, Todoroki's vanishes are just not fast enough, as well of his strings. They're just not fluid and fast enough to really get any nice mixes. You could probably do this if you condition the opponent to fear what I was doing earlier. So if you start to do this a lot, they might think you're just going to do that attack, when in actuality you're just going to grab right after. So, but be careful. They can, if you vanish too close to them, if they're trying to just spam grab and grab tech, they will grab you if you vanish close to them like this. Some of you are probably wondering why I don't just maybe just use this, right, to set up resets. Well, for one thing, if you block this ability, you are completely unsafe on it. The resets only work if you land the ability, so if they are just blocking this straight up like this, then I am in trouble. As well as, I don't really recommend using this while they're blocking. If people are very good, they can actually vanish this ability, in which if they sidestep, they can still have a chance to vanish. If they backstep, it will completely miss. And of course, you know, if you want to just call out backsteps and stuff, you could try and use Flame Pillar. You might catch both assists, but if they're going for backsteps, I'd recommend doing that. But of course, if you only have one bar, I call it Flame Pillar, I'm so sorry, Dancing Flame. Either way, guys, don't do this trying to catch someone. It's just not worth it. Hey, combo time! So guys, I'm going to keep these combos really brief because honestly they're the same thing you're going to see every Todoroki do. So the main combo you always want to go for is just 3 heavies into a Heaven Piercing Ice Wall, into Flame Pillar, into an assist, into maybe another Heaven Piercing Ice Wall, into ult, right? That is like the major damage. 5 bars. You don't really need 5 bars. You can honestly ult after the Flame Pillar, but of course you could also just do that if you just wanted to flex on your opponent, right? Some smaller combos that you might want to work on is using the first ability to land some resets. You can go into a fully charged up tilt or a fully charged light. It really does not matter. Your opponent does have to literally guess what is going to come next. If you honestly just wanted to continue it, you could just do one light and then go into heavies again. But if you wanted to go for a reset, maybe they're going to try and sidestep, you can actually just land a heavy and it resets the damage. Of course, they can just block this, right? And if they don't do anything, it will white out eventually. However, I've definitely tried just regular heavying, and if they try and move or sidestep, this usually does catch them. Of course, my favorite is always just going for the half charge down tilt, and if it hits, then you can just, you know, do whatever you want to do after. Of course, though, most of the time, if you are doing something, a lot of the people just swing. They swing because they think they're going to get a high speed counter off this light right here. So if they're swinging, there's some stuff we can do here. Alright guys, so I'm back in P1 versus P2, and I'm going to show you real quick, if they start to swing, this is some stuff you can do. You can obviously just use Flaming Dance Pillar to soak up some of that armor, and you could also just do a couple, you can just fully charge light if you really wanted to, and it'll just go through it, as well as the up tilt and down tilt. If you're trying to use just the basic heavy after to catch them when they run away, they can sidestep this, however, so be careful. Now, trying to use 2 controllers is not going to be working for me, but if you do the fully charged down tilt, which I believe is honestly your best option, because if they sidestep, backstep, or try and hit you, you'll just be plus on anything. The only thing they can do at that point is guard, and if they're really ballsy, they can grab. However, the grab's only going to work if you fully charge it. So if I half charge it and they try and sidestep, I can just follow up with a combo again or do whatever. And I'm not going to be able to show this because I'll try it once, but working 2 controllers and trying to down tilt and sidestep is not going to work for me. Hold up. Okay, I just did a fully charged light and even that works, so you could also go that route. But no, the down tilt does work. Okay, so that was kind of just like the smaller combos you could do. Of course, you could always just do, you know, this, and if you have an assist, you can follow this up after, you know, dash after them, maybe try and land that again and do this, right? You can always do stuff like that, but I'm going to show you one of my favorite combos to go for and kind of how to go for them. Alright guys, this is one of my favorite combos with Shoto, and honestly, it's such a great reset. Now again, it does depend if your opponent is pressing a button, holding guard, etc. But it's super good. Of course, you're just going to do all the basic stuff here. And I am using Kaiba, so feel free to use any other assist, but I think it works best with Kaiba. And I'm going to show you the combo now, but then I'm going to go through kind of all the inputs I do after. I might have done that ult a little bit too late, but if it lands, this will kill. There we go, landed it perfectly. Should do 100%, if not a little bit more. And on a smaller health team, so if this team had like Sasuke or something on it, then it would do a lot more damage. Basically, the criteria for landing this combo here is you just need to land Heavy Pierce Ice Wall, do the Flame Pillar, very basic stuff. Use Kaiba, in my opinion. You're going to dash up and kind of wait for him to fall, and use the heavy, dash back, and then go for that kind of Vanish String we talked about. So again, if you don't know how to do that, one heavy, vanish, and then use your dash button, and you're going to do this, right? And then they fall to the ground. The key here is being able to land the heavy after the Kaiba assist. You do not want to use a light because they potentially could white out. So heavy, vanish back, and then boom. Now, of course, if the wall reset happens, that might work in your favor. It might not. But honestly, that is what you want to do. And honestly, if you want to do this combo unawakened, it's pretty nice. So let's see if I can do it. Boom, and then I can maybe ult right here. That might miss. However, let's see. Okay, so I missed. I didn't time it right, but of course you could do it unawakened if you really wanted to. Alright guys, now what if your opponent is guarding? Well, it's still relatively the same thing, but instead of doing a charged light after the heavy vanish dash, what you're going to do is just grab. So they're going to get up right away and guard, and you just get an immediately free grab. And if you want to ult, you definitely can, and they can escape out of this if they really want to, but if they don't, this is the damage you're going to be getting unawakened with 3-bar combo and an ultimate. As well as if they do escape, you can just chase them down. They've wasted their stamina gauge, and now it's up to you to open them up and do something. But that is a nice unawakened 90% combo with Shoto. Now, if your opponent is not guarding, but they are pressing buttons, of course, it's just going to look the exact same. The only difference is they're not guarding. So they're going to get up right in front of your face, and they're going to... Same thing, they're going to do that. And of course, you don't have to ult if you don't want to. You can kind of go for a little reset right there, and then ult right here if you really wanted to. We're going to get... That is my favorite combo to do, and honestly, it is super good. To be honest, there's not many other combos I could really teach you. I could teach you like fancy stuff like, you know, this, like, but honestly, it's not really worth it. You know, it's just being able to, if you land this fully charged up tilt, you know, you want to get the, you want this getting down, and then you want to be able to do the flame, and then go into this, because then you just get the chance of the reset right here. And then boom, and if you get the wall reset, even better, you just go into a full combo, and you should be able to react to it. It's pretty obvious when you get it. Alright, now for the R3 users, if you just want to follow the same combo, there's a really good opportunity if your opponent is not pressing any buttons to use this in the R3 format. Same follow-up here. Fully charged light if they don't press anything. R3, walk up, call in Kaiba, and ult. Now again, guys, I use Kaiba as an assist right now for just the ult factor, being able to land Kaiba after. I would normally just use All Might for the 50% damage with the Flame Pillar, which I guess I'll show at the end of this in a second here. But this is another 100% combo if you R3. Dash up, hit him once with the light, and use that, and then you can keep going. You can call in Kaiba again if you wanted to. It's a bigger health team, then you can just keep comboing, and eventually they'll white out, right? So 110% right there. Now, honestly, you could technically R3 at any time, and it'd be pretty good. Not any time, sorry, but most of the time you can do whatever, and you just follow the same path, right? You ult, Kaiba's gonna come up and catch him, and then you dash up, do one light into the first ability, whatever you really want to do, you follow it up, right? The next best thing I'm going to show you if you use R3 is a nice little grab mix-up, so let me just go through what's going to happen here. And any whites out, right? So that you can do something like that if you really wanted to. Now, like I showed before in, I think, my kind of moveset ability, if you do one heavy and then team ult, you are able to just grab right away and then ult, and they cannot escape this because R3 standards and R3 rules, so they will get hit by this ultimate, and if you really wanted to, you could also just grab, move up a little bit, call Kaiba, and then ult, and then you'll get even more damage after this, right? After this, another thing you can do, basically the mix-ups is, what they can do right here is they could grab tech, but your grab would cancel. So it's like a 50-50 for them. If you want to call them on the grab or backstep or sidestep, you could just ult, kind of move up to kind of spook them, and if they move or do anything, they'll get caught by that. Another thing you can do is if you want to catch them on the backstep, you can try and go for more damage, and then that will give you some big damage. But honestly, I just go for the grab or moving up a little forward and ulting. But how to do this during this combo here, and honestly, guys, there are definitely more and more combos you can do than just this. This is just my favorite combo, and I think it works very well. The only hard part about it is literally dashing up here and trying to land the heavy or timing it. They're gonna guard. I'm gonna do another heavy R3 right here, get them into the mix-up, and they might be too spooked or like, what the hell is going on? And you're gonna hit them right here. And technically, it's like a whole 50% reset, right? Because Kaiba's gonna connect after this. I'm gonna be able to dash up and use a bunch of abilities and call on Kaiba again. So let's see how much damage we can get here. So that's 100 right there. Dash up. Go like this. Kaiba. Keep going. He could definitely escape if he really wanted to. And that's like 125-30% combo, right? So that's pretty much Shoto's power. And honestly, he's a very, very basic character that can do some really nice damage with some really easy combos. So just be wary of stuff like that. Alright guys, the guide is technically over, but if you want to stay, I'm just going to show you the actual max damage Todoroki can pull on a team full of tanks. Honestly, like I said before, the combo was just mine, and it's super good and super fun, and the other combos you can do are very basic depending on the assist you can use. Like I showed in the previous video, you can use All Might to get 2 fully charged Dancing Flames off, and I know I called this ability like Flaming Pillar Dance or whatever earlier. And you can get like 50% just doing that, right? But I think Kaiba's probably the best assist for him, and for the full tank team, this is the amount of damage you're going to get with him. Alright guys, so this is just going to be the damage with regular Awakening, no R3, with 3 heavies, full tank team. That's what you're going to get. And we are going to go for the reset here, because otherwise this would just stop at 90%. I might have messed that up, but it should be good. Got him. Alright. This should generally kill. And if it doesn't, then full tank team survives. Full awaken reset Todoroki. Oh, just barely 90%. I meant 99%. Sorry about that, not 90%. But let's go ahead and see what we can do with the full tank team here with the R3 reset. R3, Kaiba, and yeah, this will probably definitely kill him. I think it's funny how the only reason why we get more than the previous combo is because we get the Kaiba assist after. Or at least we have the opportunity to get more. 105%-ish, yeah. Alright, good damage. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the guide for Shoto Todoroki. I feel like there wasn't much, even though it went pretty far into 30 minutes. I don't know, there wasn't much about this guy. He's very plain, very simple, good damage. Other than that, he is pretty fun. But have fun with him, definitely learn some stuff. Remember, these guys are just very basic things you can do with the characters. There's a lot of stuff here I did not teach you guys that you can do, and I'm sure you guys will figure out. So have fun doing it, and yeah, see you guys later.